Yep. Good morning, Abhijit. So before starting off a new chapter, right, let's do one problem from kinematics and then we'll go ahead. Sunday paper, how did you find? Easy? Moderate? Others camps on. If your camps are not on, I'll be removing from the classroom. So let's just start off with the problem and then we'll start a new chapter after this. So we have a hot air balloon accelerating with 1 meter per second square. Right? So a man drops a coin. After 20 seconds.
Sir, this sum is done already.
Balloon wala?
No, sir.
No, sir.
When did we do? Find the time taken for the coin to reach the ground. After releasing. So after releasing the coin, how long did it take to reach the ground? Try. Hope the question is clear. Any answers?
2 plus root 44.
2 plus root 44. This is actually, if you see, kind of like rocket problem only. So in 20 seconds, how high will this thing go? So in 20 seconds, it would reach somewhere here. It will have a speed v is equal to u plus 80. U was 0, a was 1, and time was 20. So this will have a speed of 20 meters per second. Ut plus half 80 square, u was 0, a was 1, and 20 square, this was 200 meters. So now from here, you left a coin. Tell me one thing, the important, let's say if you're going in a train and if you jump from a train, will you come to rest immediately? So you will have the speed of the train, no? So the important thing is this, a particle dropped from a moving vehicle will have the speed of the moving vehicle. That is the reason when people get down from a running train on the platform, right, they run for some time. So this coin which you dropped here, this also will go up and then fall down. So this whole question becomes like this. You have a building of height 200 meters. Someone throwed a coin up with 20 meters per second. So this will go up and fall down. I'm asking you, what is the time? Is this clear till here, everyone? So when you leave a coin from the balloon, this is what happens. See, some people will say, sir, the coin is going backward. You're mistaking it. See, the balloon will think it is going backward. You know what is happening here? When you drop the coin, balloon is still going up, coin is also going up, but the coin will go up and come down. So the person in the balloon will think the coin is going back. But in reality, if you're on the ground, you will see the coin and the balloon are going the same direction, but coin is going slower. Does it make sense? It's like when you throw a stone onto a railway platform when you're going in a train, the stone actually goes forward. But because your train is going faster, you will think the stone is going backward. Clear till here? Now how to do here? Put it down till here. I'll show you the calculations on the next page. So here, what is the displacement? Displacement is this. Minus 200. Velocity plus 20. Acceleration minus g. We have to find time. So we use the equation s is equal to ut plus half at square. Minus 200, 20t plus half a was minus 10t square. Clear? Let's see. So what is the answer for this guy? 0, 0, 0 will cancel. Multiply 2 minus 40, 40 minus t square. T square minus 40 minus 40. Quadratic equation. B square yeah. So that would be 4 plus or minus. Minus won't come, negative root over 176 by 2. 2 plus 4 goes inside, so it will be root 4, 1644. Yeah, you can leave the answer there. Check out the steps. Time can't be negative, na? Clear? Next thing. Dave, you know what is our time now? It's 9:45, 15 minutes late to the class. What the hell are you guys thinking? I don't get it. What kind of, like carelessness this is? Class is at 9:30. I don't understand why can't you join by 9:28, 2 minutes before? People come 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. I am telling you, next time onwards, I won't let you into the class. Dave, keep your cam on. If you guys are treating this like a joke, right, then please leave the classes. Don't continue. If you don't have that kind of, minimum common sense, like this is how you behave in school also. Now see, one more idiot came now. Abhijit, what is the time now?
Sir,
Which
I
one
joined
again?
earlier. I got disconnected.
What?
I joined earlier.
I didn't see you joining earlier.
Sir, I got good morning also in that.
Right, you said that saved you actually. You got disconnected and you came back. I don't understand. See, if you guys can't be on time, right, then don't join. You'll miss the chapter. You can forget about physics and your entrance exam. We have to take care of this thing. You have to keep calling each and every person. Yeah, this is, I'm telling you, right, pure carelessness and negligence. You don't have minimum respect for the class and the teacher and your fellow students. That's what this thing clearly indicates. And don't give me bloody excuses like you couldn't wake up at 9:30. I'm telling you again, classes at 9:30. I want everyone in by 9:30. That much you can't do. I don't know what you're sitting at home and doing. There's no need to travel. You can't say auto is late, bus is late. And all these things, right? Small things, these things only will add up. And you guys are here planning to compete with what? 10 lakh students, 12 lakh students and crack the entrance exam. You guys better take this thing seriously, yeah? If someone thinks like, no, this is not my cup of tea, please get out of the class. Right? Don't join. Get out of the class. I'm telling you seriously. I lose nothing from there. At least the serious students who are interested in study, let them, do well. If you think this is school, right? Forget about it. This is not school. That is not how people will treat you after this. By now, all your relatives, your family, everyone thinks, ah, mera bacha doctor ban jayega, engineer ban jayega, good college. You will see the true colors in another 6 months. Let's see. We'll start off. We're starting with a new chapter. Other scams on. Someone has an issue with the cam or something, you have to tell me before the class, not after the class starts. Now, people are still joining. Now it is 29. Someone else came. Like, so should I teach or should I keep scolding? This is the thing. And next time I'll just record the lecture and put it in YouTube. Those, right? And we'll just call your parents personal and tell them, see, your son or child, right? Daughter is not good for this thing. Please remove them and put them in some commerce classes. That is where, people do time pass and chill out. And when CA exam comes, then they'll start studying. And then they'll say CA exam about tough. It is not tough, idiot. You are not disciplined. Don't worry. I'm noting down the names who are coming late. When you put a parent teacher meeting, we are going to announce how many times you came late to the class. Sure. Let's see a new one. So we are starting with a new chapter called calculus. Quite important. It is there even in HSC also. Right? HSC was not there before 2 years, but they introduced this chapter from last year. Finally, these people also realized if they're not going to teach calculus, students from Maharashtra are not able to compete in all India exams. So what is this calculus about? Primarily, right, in calculus, we deal with things when quantities are changing. We change. Right? Example. What do you mean by this exactly? For example, you studied this in school. You have a block, let's say. We have a force is equal to 10 newtons. The block is there from at x is equal to 0. And if someone says the block is going from x is equal to 1 to x is equal to 2. And we know the formula in school. What is work done? Force into displacement. So we'll write force is 10 and displacement is 2 minus 1. So 10 into 1, 10 joules. Agreed? Normally, this is how we write work done. But what if this happens like this? You have a force which is not constant. Let's say F is equal to x, where x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. Meaning, when x is equal to 1, F is 1. When x is equal to 1.5, F is 1.5. When x is equal to 2, force is 2, and so on. Now, if I ask you find work done, force into displacement. If I use the same formula here, do I know displacement? Displacement is 1 meter. What about force? Which force will you take? The force at 1 meter, the force at 2 meters, force at 1.5, which force will you take? Every moment it is changing, right? Right? We don't know. It changes every instant. This is the problem we face. Because in real life, if you see, right, when you accelerate your bike is not going with constant acceleration. Biker speed also increases, isn't it? So how do you study these things? Now, if the force is changing or something is variable, how do you handle this? Because till now, whatever you learned, right, it is not designed to deal with things when it is changing. But if you see in real life, most of the things actually keep changing. They're not constant. So this chapter, right, we handle how to do the second type of questions when the force is changing, the something is changing. Then how do you handle that? Put it down. Copy it down. Copied. Right? And not only this thing, we deal this thing right in multiple places. Turn the page. Let's say you have a body like this, a solid sphere. Right? Rho is the density. Let's say something like 2 kg per meter cube. And this radius is 1 meter. If someone asks you what is the mass, what is the mass? Density into volume. So density would be 2, volume will be 4 by 3 pi r cube. So this would be 8 by 3 kgs. This is great. This is how we normally do. But what happens? Someone gives you a sphere where the density is not constant. It's a non-uniform solid sphere. You will deal these kind of things a lot later on also. Right? Something like density is like 2 plus r, where r is distance from the center. So r is between 1 to 0. And you know what? At the center here, r is 0, density is 2. At the edge, when r is equal to capital R, density is 3. So if you see, density varies from 2 to 3. It is not constant. At the center, density is 2. At edge or the circumference, r is equal to capital R, which is 1, density is 3. So again, if I try to apply the formula, mass is equal to density into volume. Volume, I know. What is density? You get in the confusion, we get stuck always there. Volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Density, we are clueless. Should I take 2? Should I take 3? What value should I take? So this is what will happen. Right? If you see, inside is less dense, outside is more dense in this part, if you see. Meaning the inside of the sphere is less dense, outside is more dense. Example, if you take an egg, egg is reverse. Egg ka center is more dense, egg ka outside is less dense. Isn't it that yolk is more density, outside the white shell will have less density after a boiled egg? This is reverse of it. So how do you deal with these kind of things? Put it up.
So,
All right.
so I did not understand that at edge how pi is equals to r is equals to 1 and s is equals to 3.
It is given, na? Radius is 1 meter. Right? So 2 plus 1, na? 3. Right? Radius of the sphere is 1 meter. So what is small r? Small r is distance from center. So surface mein what will be small r? 1, right? And density is given as 2 plus r. R is a distance. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Is that fine? Alright, clear, na? Okay. clear? Can I turn the page? Quite an important chapter. You will deal with this calculus literally everywhere. Kinematics, laws of motion, everywhere it comes. You have 25 chapters, you can expect it to be in 24 chapters. I think units and dimensions errors won't be there, but yeah. Again, it's not like a complete thing. It is only a small part of it, a max chapter actually. But yeah, we physics people deal with it because they won't teach you till 12th standard. Next one. Not only this thing, we see this even if you take, gravitation. Between planets. So if you have two planets like this, right? If there are particles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, like there are particles here. Now what happens? This particle is interacted by every other particle in the other sphere. Similarly, this particle attracts every other particle in this sphere. Similarly, if you look at this particle, this attracts every other particle in this sphere. So, you learned this in school, remember? Force is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. Everyone knows this thing, gravitational force, ever studied? If you don't know, this is the force between two particles. Remember, see the word between two particles. But here in each sphere, you have infinite particles. So how do you do this thing? This is force between two particles. How do we find force between two planets? Because each planet has infinite particles. Each planet has infinite particles. So whatever max that we know till 10th standard is insufficient to deal with these kind of situations. For example, if you take bacterial culture, if you see the bacterial growth rate, it follows an exponential rule. Kind of, let's say if you have something and if you have bacteria and you're growing it, right? So what happens? Bacteria grows at different rates. So you get an equation like this. The rate of change of bacteria, meaning every second how much bacteria is changing, is proportional to number of bacteria present. So more bacteria, more faster the bacteria grows. So the equation will look something like this. I'll show you what this means. dn by dt is equal to lambda n. So where n is number of bacteria. What is the meaning of that equation? We will see later on. So it's just not, or bacterial growth or a nuclear decay. When you talk about a nuclear material, it also decays. So we handle these kind of things. So it is just not related to, engineering. It's all related to bio and everywhere, basically. This stuff comes multiple places. So when you talk about calculus, these are the type of things it is quite useful to deal with. People use it even in stock market. We have something called financials where people use this thing. So in day-to-day life, we really don't use it, but it has its own implications. So we will see a lot of applications also. How can you actually use it? What are the uses and all? Put it up. So basically, this is a basic context, like why we need to study calculus. Because in real life, you will deal with things which don't obey your regular formulas. Because all your regular formulas are derived under the assumption the things are constant. If things are changing, you need to do something about it. Copied. Other scams on. Keep the cams on during the session, right? Clear? Now, in calculus, we have two parts: differentiation and integration. So differentiation, we deal with how to break big things into small ones. Nuclear decay is what? Heard about this nuclear bombs and nuclear material? Heard about Chernobyl? Series also came. So whenever there's a nuclear material, right, like uranium, plutonium, and all these things decay. Radioactive decay, we call it. Meaning, for example, if you take uranium, right, after a time of around, it takes a very long time, but let me take another one. Let me tell you how to use one. Whenever you go for a brain MRI scan, right, when you're taking an MRI scan of a brain, and let's say they're trying to find blood clots. So normally, right, blood clots you can't see in an MRI scan. So what these people do, they take, cobalt 59. It's a radioactive thing. Cobalt has a normal cobalt is there, radioactive cobalt is there. Or they take a sodium radioactive one, but they'll put a star for radioactive. I mean, these things are not so deadly. You don't die from radiation, but these things have little radioactivity. Preferably, they take cobalt, they inject into your bloodstream, and they make you sit for 1 hour. They will tell you not to go for washroom. So before giving this injection, they tell you finish off all washroom and everything. You're not supposed to give. So in 1 hour, right, this will spread in your whole body. So it is spreading in your blood. Then they put the person in the MRI scan. Now, what this cobalt does, the radioactive thing, right? And when they're scanning it, I think now they might have found a better way to do this without using radioactive, but this is one way to figure it out, right? And wherever the cobalt goes, now see, let's say your bloodstream is like this, and there is a blockage. So what will happen? This radioactive will get accumulated here, na? So whenever they're hitting this with MRI scan, these things will shine little brighter compared to this bloodstream. Can you see how it will look? Here it will look like something is bright, but it is moving. Here it looks like something is bright, but stuck. That is how they know where there's a blood clot. And then accordingly, they will see what can be done about it. Not only this thing, in chemical reactions, for example, you have a chemical reaction like this. Let's say this is called an ester thing. So we have a compound like this thing. I'm not getting it right. So fine, there's a compound like this. So there is some reaction kind of thing here. And let's say some OH molecule is coming and attacking it. And finally, this compound, right, becomes like this. Now the doubt is this oxygen coming and attaching here, or is this oxygen is coming and attaching here? Now, how do you find that out? Because if both are oxygens, you cannot realize which one is which oxygen. So what they do, they use a radioactive oxygen here. So after the compound forms, if this is radioactive, means what? This oxygen came here from this OH. Na? If it is not radioactive, means this is the oxygen which was there inside already. So this is how they find how the chemical, the reactions proceed in chemistry. You will learn this in organic chemistry. So all these are radioactive stuff. So it has their own implications, practical uses. Now, the first thing that we deal with is differentiation. Chapter is not tough, right? Just be attentive because it's a little different. So in differentiation, what we do, let's start with something simple. Slope. So slope ka symbol is M, which is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, which is change in y by change in x. Hope everyone knows this. So if you have a straight line A, B, this is Y and this is X. So this point is X2, Y2. This point is X1, Y1. This angle is theta. This is the change in height Y2 minus Y1, which is delta Y. This base is delta X, which is X2 minus X1. So we get tan theta opposite side by adjacent side, which we also call as slope. Till here, everyone knows we did this in school. Put it up. So let's see what happens. Instead of a line, you have something else. And you might be thinking, sir, where else we are using this calculus? You use it every time. You just don't realize it. Right now, I'm talking to you. What do you think you're hearing? You think you're hearing my voice? Here on the screen, I draw it like this. What do you think? Is this a curve? Your whole life, you're being deceived. You know, it's like, I'll tell you, what you're seeing here, when I'm speaking to you, right, what happens? My voice, right, it has a different frequencies. Now the computer cannot take all the frequencies. So whenever you're looking, hearing an audio, let's say a song, what the computer does is, let's say this is the signal. I'm just drawing something random. It cannot take each and every signal because it takes infinite data and your entire laptop will be bogged down. Instead of that, what the computer does, it takes a lot of samples. Did you ever see this thing on your audio file? 128 kbps, 320 kbps. Did you ever see this thing? At the last tag, you will see the file ka name, end mein you will see this number, 128 kbps, 320 kbps. The meaning of this is, suppose if the audio records at 1 bps, that is 1 bit per second. That means, what the computer does, it takes one sample every second and it plays. You know how your audio will be? Meaning this is what you'll hear. Meaning for 1 second, you will just play that one sound and all. If I take 10 bits per second, means you're taking 10 samples every second. So there'll be more points now. But what you're seeing still, you're still seeing straight lines only, na? You're getting what you're saying? Now the audio will be like, it will be like a noise. You won't understand. When you take 128 kilobytes, that is 10 power 3 bits per second. That is 1,28,000 samples every second. Then you hear like an audio. When I say 320 kbps, you're taking 3,20,000 samples every second. Now, normally we humans cannot figure out between this and this. If you ever buy an audio CD, right? That thing, if you see 700 MB, you have only 6 songs. Did you ever observe that? 700 MB audio CD may have only 6 songs. But when you compress them, you can fit them in 6 MB. So audio quality goes off, but our human ears are not that great to figure out that much difference. So we call this thing analog and digital. When I'm speaking in front of you, it is analog. When you're hearing my voice through a tape recorder or the laptop, it is digital. Same thing, when you're drawing a circle, you can never draw a circle on a screen. You know why? The screen is made of something called pixels. You must have heard about this thing. So when you tell a computer to draw a circle, you know what it does? It will take points like this, that circle is actually constructed like this. All are straight lines. All are straight lines. But the pixel density is so high, you think it's a curve. Did you ever see, if you keep on zooming an image, you can see the edges of pixels you'll find. So you never draw a circle in your life on a computer screen. Every circle that you saw on a computer screen is not a circle. Did you ever see Nokia mobile mein snake game? That's a digital snake. Did you see that snake, how it goes? It goes only like this. It cannot go like this. That is because there are no pixels like this. The pixels will be only like this. Everything that you have seen on a computer screen or any digital television screen is not a curve. Everything is a straight line. We are just fooled. You're getting it? That's not the only thing. When you speak, right? When you speak to someone, do you think what you hear is your own voice? Ever happened to you? You recorded your voice and you heard it. You feel like, who the hell is this? This is not me. Try this thing today. After the class gets over, record your voice on your mobile phone and hear it. You will think, who is this nonsense guy? This is not my voice. But you give that sound to your mom and say, Mom, do I speak like this? Your mom will say, this is your voice only. Your friends will recognize it. Everyone will recognize except you. You know why? Anyone wants to try? Why that happens? You can't recognize your own voice. Anyone? Any idea why?
Because maybe what we hear is different from what they hear.
Come again, Aditi. I couldn't hear you clearly.
Because what we hear is different from what the others are hearing.
You're saying the distance from your ear is less than the others. No. So I'll tell you. See, your voice is actually a little low. It's okay. I think you tried something. I'll tell you one thing. See, when you're speaking to some other person, the sound travels through the air. But for you, it travels in 2 ways. One, through the air. It will travel through the air. Second, it travels through your cheekbones. Isn't it? The bone structure which you have, right? The sound travels through your bones. So that means your ear is getting 2 sounds at the same time. And you know, sound travels faster in solids. So the sound that travels through your bones will reach the ear first when compared to the sound that travels through the air. So your ear is receiving 2 sounds at the same time and it does not understand which one to take. So it does some remix. It takes both the sounds and it will make you hear one pleasant sound. That's why when you sing, you think your voice is very nice. Your friends will think, why is this guy shouting like this? Ever happened? You just sit and you sing songs, you think, my voice is so nice. But the guy beside you is thinking like, why the hell is this guy, howling and shouting like this? That is because your brain will make you think, yeah, your voice is great. Only others can feel the pain. So in your life, you have never heard your own voice. Can you see that? When you see yourself in the image, ever happened to you when you take a photograph, you feel like, I'm not looking that good in the photo? Ever happened? When you take a selfie or anything in a photo, right? Normally, if you take a just still photograph, you will feel, this is me, I know that, but somewhere something is missing. You know why? Problem is, we are used to seeing ourselves in the mirror, right? We keep seeing ourselves in the mirror, but when you take a photograph, it's a proper photograph. So right is right and left is left, but we are used to seeing everything in reverse. Left becomes right and right becomes left types. And our human faces, right, are not symmetrical. No matter how much we say it is symmetrical, left and right, there is always a difference. Someone's eyeball is little big, right eyeball is small. People have all these things, we don't notice. Maybe one side the color is little dark, one side is little bright. Maybe one ear is little twisted, one is up. So all this small, we have those things. So when you see your own photo, it looks like you, but you will feel something is weird because you're not used to seeing your own photo. So end of the day, the point is your whole life is a lie. You have never seen yourself properly. You never heard yourself properly. Everything you see on the TV screen is false, including the ads. So yeah. So let's go ahead with this. Yeah, all these things, when you're curious, you'll start thinking about it. Problem is, you are just too busy with everything else. So what happens if I take a curve? Now, if I take a curve here, and let's choose 2 points here, A and B. Let's say A is x1, y1, B is x2 and y2. Now tell me, if I use the slope curve formula, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, That is delta y by delta x. What do I get? I get slope of this line, right? Is there any relation between this line and the curve? This is slope of line AB. You will see there is no relation. This is totally useless. There is no relation between the line and the curve. Okay, fine. What if we bring A and B a little closer? You bring A here, you bring B here. Okay, fine. But still, I don't see any use still here. This is still useless. I think it's still useless. There is no relation. You brought them closer, great, but you got the slope of line AB, which are just two random points on the curve, and that has nothing to do with the curve. Put it up. So if you try to use the same formula on a slope, you get all garbage answers. Put it up. Copied? Now, if you bring A and B now very, very close, we call this thing. Now see, what is the distance between these two guys? This is your delta x. That is x2 minus x1. So you are making A and B closer. That is delta x is smaller. I posted the paper in the group. Huh? You guys have a look at it. Wednesday, we will discuss the paper. So everyone should resolve the paper again. Now, if you make delta x even smaller, if delta x is very small, we write, delta x, we write like this thing. This is how you pronounce it. Delta x tends to 0. Don't worry too much about it. We are not interested in all this. It is just to give you an idea what is happening. We call the delta x tends to 0, meaning you brought the point so close. The points A and B are literally so close. When you draw a line, it becomes like this. Now what happens? The line AB becomes a tangent to the curve. Now, does this line has some meaning to the curve? This line AB is a tangent to the curve. Now it makes sense, na? That means slope of line AB is the slope of the tangent. So we define slope at a point. So from a line, we are able to find slope for a curve now. So we got little upgraded. This is given by limit delta x tends to 0. So this formula is valid only when delta x is very small, delta y by delta x. So this is how we write. Again, don't worry too much about the representation. It's not important. It is just for you to show like how it looks. No one will ask you this in the physics exam. So meaning this is how we write the slope of a point, slope at a point. When delta x is very small, the slope ka formula is right. If you just use this formula, it's a blunder. It is useless. So if the delta x tends to 0 is important thing. Put it up. Clear? Turning the page. Now, who will write this thing every time like this? Big one. So slope is limit delta x tends to 0, delta y by delta x. Since we are lazy to write like this, we simply write this thing as dy by dx. So what is this delta? What is this d? Delta means change. Let's say delta x means change in x. What is dx? Very small change in x. Remember, I said delta x tends to 0 when you're taking dx is very small. So instead of writing all this thing, we are lazy people. So we write simply this one. So when you say dy by dx, it implies you're talking about very small changes. How small? Let's say here, example, delta x can be like 1, 0.1, 100, 2000, anything. When I say dx, you're talking about 0. Very, very small. Like we are talking about this numbers. 10 power minus 20, 10 power minus 30, pretty small. Almost 0. So here one important thing. This d by dx is called a differential operator. Don't cancel d and d. Those are not some alphabets. This whole thing is one term. It is called a differential operator. You know what's an operator, right? Plus is an operator. Minus is an operator. Cross, multiplication, like that. Don't cancel D and D. So what does this operator do? So this operator, it compares any quantity with X. For example, when you say dy by dx, it's like d by dx of y. This is the meaning. This tells you how y changes with X. Put it up. Hope till now everything was clear. Any doubts, anything you didn't get it, please ask me. Other scams on. Any step you're not convinced, please ask me. The differential operator meaning, see, when I say dy dx, when someone writes like this, he's telling you, what does it do? It compares a quantity with X. I'll give you a few more examples. Don't worry, I'll tell you what it means. See, just like 3 plus 2, what does the plus do? It adds, now. If I say 4 into 3, what does into do? Multiplies, now. Same way, if I write dy dx of y, what does it do? It compares how y is changing with X. Example, think like this. I slap you, you give me 2 chocolates. I slap you 2 times, you give me 4 chocolates. So how are the chocolates varying with slaps? 2 times, no? For every 1 slap, you get 2 chocolates. So it is like dy, and it's a bad example, but it works. So how chocolates vary with slaps? So you are comparing the number of chocolates that you get with the number of slaps you get. Kind of getting it? Yeah. So it's like you're comparing any 2 quantities. The y and x could be anything. So a differential operator simply tells you how one quantity changes with another. That's it. That's the only thing you need to know. All this, nothing comes in the exam. Don't worry. This is all just for your understanding. I'm trying to build that base. Because suddenly I start with the formula saying this is the differential, now you will think what nonsense is this? I don't want you to learn that way. Because if you just, Aditi, got something?
Like
Come again?
you have written dy upon dx. So what's d exactly there?
Told you now, dx meaning very small change. See, only d is useless, huh? Only d has no meaning. This has a meaning. This has a meaning. You're getting dx is a whole thing is one term. It is not d into x. You getting my point? Dx is very small. It's like, see, if I say delta x, will you say, sir, what is delta? What is x? What is delta x? Change in x. What is dx? Very small change in x. So delta and d are identical. Only difference is one is big change, one is small change. Got it? Here d is not an alphabet because physics people, we didn't have enough alphabets, we are using d. Clear? Now, we can take more examples. For example, if you compare y with x, this is called slope. So if you compare y coordinate with x coordinate, we call such a quantity slope. Suppose if you compare x coordinate with the time, what is position by time? Anyone? You studied this in school.
Speed.
Velocity, na? Speed. So if you compare x with t, it becomes velocity. So every time it need not be slope only. Depending on which quantity you're differentiating, you can get any other quantity. What is velocity by time?
Acceleration.
Acceleration. So if you differentiate velocity with respect to time, meaning if velocity with respect to time is acceleration. Are you getting? So you need not differentiate every time y with x only. You can compare any quantity with any other quantity. So if I take few more, let's say dt by dx, capital T is temperature. All these things we will deal in physics. X is position. We can even find something temperature with position also. This is called temperature gradient. dW by dt. What is work by time? Anyone? Power. You're getting this? So there are multiple things which you see. So basically we can compare any quantity with any other quantity. And then you get a different meaning for it. It is not slope every time. I taught you slope because it is the easiest one for you to understand. So great. So we have a basic idea. What does this differentiation do? So what is the exact formula? That we will see in the next page. So from the next page is actually the important stuff. That's what you have to remember. All this is just a story, the background. Normally when they show a movie, they show all the background. Na? So it is like that. It's like that Avengers movie. End of the day, everyone is waiting for Captain America to beat that Thanos guy in the right and left. But all that backstory you need to show for 12 movies. And if someone is an Avengers fan, you'll understand. All these Iron Man and everyone, they're sitting around a table that try to lift the hammer. Like that. I'm really not a big fan of Avengers. It's all fake. Physics, it doesn't work physics-wise. Iron Man cannot fly. Hulk cannot exist. Meaning they don't obey laws of physics. That's the problem. Just think about Hulk. Every time he becomes big, where does he get the extra mass from? And when he becomes small, where does that extra mass go? If you use the equation E is equal to mc square, every time he becomes small, all that lost mass will become energy. He will be a nuclear bomb blasting. So Hulk cannot exist. Ant-Man is another useless thing. Think about it. When he becomes small, shouldn't the mass remain same? Mass will remain same. If he becomes big, mass will remain same. So he'll become so lighter, he will float like a balloon. But they will show as if his mass increases and decreases. Doesn't work according to physics. This is what happens when you're a physics teacher and go to an Avengers movie. You keep thinking, this doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't obey physics law. So you have to keep the brain at home and go for the movie. Only then you can enjoy such stuff. I think the only superhero who works is Batman. So like that. Copied? Now, let's see. The formulas, one more thing. We have the function y is equal to f of x. This I taught you in the beginning. So when someone writes dy by dx, this is d f of x by dx. Since we are lazy, again, since we are lazy, we can't write such a big thing. We'll write f dash x. If you put one dash on the top, it's a first differential. Means you differentiated once. That is the meaning of it. Suppose if you differentiate the function again. So this differentiation again. We write this thing as d square y dx square. Don't worry too much about it. I'll show you when it comes again. But just now, this is the symbols. We put two, hyphens on the top. So this is called second differential. Means you differentiated 2 times. These are the meanings. Put it down. I know it looks a little vague. Don't worry. Once we do some problems, you'll get the hang of it. Put it down. This is just symbols. Since we are lazy to write it, like we just put a dash on the top. Clear? Now, turning the page. Now listen to this formulas carefully. The first formula. Now see, differentiation, there are 3 levels.
Sir, can you
First
go to
one-
the previous slide 1 minute?
Yeah. So differentiation, there are 3 levels, right? The first 2 levels are okay, right? The third level is little weird, but if your first 2 levels are okay, third level you'll get it. Don't worry, we'll do a lot of examples.
Yes, sir, done.
So the first thing, if I give you a function and if I differentiate a function, I want to see what answer will I get. The first thing, the function is a constant. Let's say y is equal to some constant. So y is f of x. So dy by dx is this. And don't worry too much about the symbols and stuff. So what happens if you differentiate a constant? Think logically. What does a differential do? It tells you how you are changing, right? Does a constant ever change? No. So 0. Example, if someone asks you like this, what is the differential of a number 3? 0. 3 will never change. What is the differential of pi? Pi will never change. Differential of 1000 never changes. So whenever you differentiate a number or a constant, you get a 0. That is the first one. Put it down. So there are 6 formulas which you had to mug up. This is the first formula. Whenever you differentiate a constant, you get a 0. Think in terms of slope. For a constant, the slope is 0. Whenever you differentiate a constant, you get slope 0. Once the calculus is over, you will again enter kinematics. Yeah, I'll be sharing the PDF. Clear? Next one. Y is equal to x power n. Then if you differentiate this, that means you're differentiating x power n. The formula is n into x power n minus 1. Example, if you differentiate, let's say x cube. So here what is n? N is 3, no? The formula is 3 into x power 3 minus 1. So you write this as 3x square. Example, if you have dy by dx of, let's say x power 7. So here n is 7. So 7 into x power 7 minus 1, 7x power 6. This is the second formula. So anything that looks like x to the power of n, the formula is n into x power n minus 1. Put it on. Any doubt that you have asked me, don't worry, we will do a lot of examples. These things we know, you will get them better only when you solve a lot of problems. Frankly speaking, there's nothing to think like kinematics. You have to just blindly by heart them. How did we get this? Why are we getting this? We are not interested. This maths people will teach you how to do. They'll teach you this whole calculus for 3 months. And here we are trying to do it in 3 weeks. Because like I told you, we'll do only what is required for physics. We are not a maths class. And anyway, in physics textbook, this is one of the chapter. Good thing they introduced it. Meaning we are teaching this from last 5-6 years. We used to see students now who used to come and join us in 12th. That is one of the reasons why we don't take students, after actually for you guys, we are actually closed off the admissions. We are not taking any new students as are coming also. After this chapter is over, so we finally close it off. Because after this, they won't understand anything anymore. The way we, build your base and bring it up to this stage, someone who comes in 12th, right, they won't understand anything. Like I told you, it's like not like bio and chem. You can sit in any chapter in the middle of a chapter. You tell me that balloon problem which we did, right? You found it normal, right? But if that same problem, imagine if I did this 2 weeks or 3 weeks back, you would have found it a little tough. You got used to it. When you run every day for 15 kilometers, 10 kilometers looks like a joke on you. Clear? Next one. Y is equal to sin x. This was easy. So dy by dx of sin x is cos x. There is nothing here. Sin ka differential is cos. Y is equal to cos x. So differential, I'll stop writing that y there. I'll directly write this thing. Cos x is minus sin x. You need to remember these things. Y is equal to e power x. E is just a number, 2.713. Just like pi is a number, this curvy symbol meaning almost equal to, approximately equal to. So y is equal to e power x. This is an exponential symbol. We call this e as exponential. Very important thing. It comes actually in 12th standard a lot. 12th standard physics. This value is 2.713. You must have heard this term, exponentially going, exponentially coming up and all. We will deal with that later on. We will see what does it mean exactly. But this is a very interesting function. When you differentiate this, you get the same function back. E to the power of x is e to the power of x only. Sixth one, log term. If your y is equal to ln x, we call this thing. I'll show this in the next page. Does they teach you logs in school? Log a plus log b, logarithm. Do they do anything like that? No. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think for some of it is not at all done, right? Or everyone knows what is a log. How many of you don't know? Okay, 1, 2. Okay. No problems. Put on these things. We will deal with the logs in the next class. I'll show you a little there. Copied? Can I turn the page? Clear? Y is equal to ln x. This thing, just write it down for today. I'll show you what is this later on. Is 1 by x.
Sir, you have written
Huh.
ln.
Ln is one thing. L and n is together is one thing. So it is ln x. This is how you pronounce it. Ln, meaning I have tried the same thing. You pronounce it as ln x or log x. The L and n is one term. L and n are not separate.
Okay.
Clear? Now let's do some examples, some questions. So I'll give you a function, you have to tell me the answer, okay? So if I give you a function here, f of x, you have to tell me what is dy by dx. (27). So y is equal to 27. So you have to tell me what is dy by this thing, that is d27 by dx. This was easy. How much?
0.
Zero.
X power 4. Now try. Get them. Root x power minus 3 by 2, x power minus 7 by. The second one is what? X power n ka formula. Get them. So you have to differentiate x power 4. I'll stop writing this y and all. I give x power 4. What is x power 4 ka answer? You can directly write the answer if you are getting it fast. Sure, let's finish up these 9 questions. What is x power 4 ka differential? Here what is n? N is 4, na? What is the formula? N into x power n minus 1. So 4 into x power 4 minus 1. 4x cube. Everyone got that? Yeah. What is root x?
Half.
X raised to
One.
Root
half.
or is x power half, na? So indirectly I give n is half. Get them, try all of them. I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Then I'll show you each one. Don't worry about right and wrong answer. Whatever you think you solve, it's okay to get a wrong answer. The moment you stop, right, is this right, is this wrong, you will stop learning. You should not be scared to do mistakes. Yeah, if you're getting, go ahead, keep solving. Just keep doing, I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, I'm back. And let's see the third one. So here the formula is what again? So d by dx of x power half. Here n is half. Let me use another color. So half into x to the power of half minus 1, which is half x to the power of minus half, which is 1 by 2 root x. Hope that is fine. X power half is root x, minus n indicates you'll go to the denominator. Any doubts on the third one? Please ask me. Same thing with this also. D by dx of x power minus 3 by 2. N is minus 3 by 2. So minus 3 by 2. X to the power of minus 3 by 2 minus 1. Maybe I should do it on the next page. Fourth one, no? D by dx of x power minus 3 by 2. N is minus 3 by 2. So formula is n into x power n minus 1. So minus 3 by 2 x to the power of minus 3 by 2 minus 1. So minus 3 by 2 x to the power of minus 5 by 2. Minus means it will go to the denominator, x power 5 by 2. You can leave the answer like this. Check out the fourth one. Fourth answer is minus 3 by 2 x to the power of 5 by 2. This one, minus 7 by 2 x to the power of minus 9 by 2. I'm writing the answers, you can verify. This is minus half x to the power of 3 by 2. Minus 3 by x power 4. Minus 1 by x square. 3 by 2 root x. See how I'm writing, like you should become this comfortable with this one. Check out the answers. I'll show you one anything you didn't get. I hope 1, 2, 3, 4 are clear. If you're getting, I won't show. If you're confused or not getting, ask me. I'll show you on the next page. Try. Sixth one, I'll show you. Sixth one is x power minus half. Na? D by dx of 1 by root x. What is 1 by root x?
X to minus
X
half.
power minus half. So d by dx of x power minus half, n is minus half. So it is minus half into x to the power of minus half minus 1. So minus 1 x to the power of minus 3 by 2. Minus 1 by 2 into x power 3 by 2. Did I miss a 2? No, I missed that. Is this clear? Clear, na, Krishna?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Others? This is the last one for the day. So make sure to go through the notes till here and come, because next class we'll do more problems on this. If you understood this, I think first part is done. Applications and all we will do later on. First, we need to get the basic math right. Check it out. Anything else you didn't get, please ask me. If you're done with all 10, you got all the answers, you're free to leave if you have no doubts. And the paper I sent you in the group, make sure to solve the paper. Thursday, Wednesday, we'll have a discussion of the paper end of the class.
Sir, homework, since I have many doubts.
Okay, let's see. You wait. Any other doubts on this thing today? Anything else you want me to show you?